Alright guys, the day's here. Wow, I'm sweaty. Today is the day the Z becomes a drift car, because I have a drift stick for it. So back to our child-friendly program. We got the Z here, it's up in the air already. We already kind of started working on it. But we've got a bunch of parts here. We've got a GK Tech Hydro Kit. We got some extended studs, some spacers, some sweet-ass lug nuts. And here's a list to do. So we're going to swap the diff because I broke my diff. So we've got another welded diff from Brandon Wicknick right there. Hydro's going to go in. We're going to mount the handle, run the cables, mount the bracket, bleed the system. We're going to install the extended wheel studs, and then we are going to put in the new drive shaft, or CV shaft I got. So, let's get started, Rowdy, yeah?
Yes, let's do it.
Ow, my finger! Ah! So I've got the dual caliper bracket set up from GK Tech. So we're going to take off the hubs here. We already broke these CV nuts loose, because we're going to have to take those off to get the hub off, right? And we're going to pull the diff off, so this whole rear end is going to come apart. So, yeah. Hire me, NASCAR. Pro tip, once you get your wheel off, you can use it as a nifty little chair to sit on. So then, just go in here, bam, maximum efficiency of time. So one of the annoying things with this kit here is that it didn't come with any instructions. I'm not sure if it's supposed to, but we don't have any instructions to go off of with this kit, so I can only make guesses of what everything is. So this looks like all the hardware here for the actual handbrake assembly. So I'm kind of putting everything together. I can see where all the pieces line up, so we're going to wing it, I guess. There are some good videos out there I'm referencing as well, so if I come across anything that's super odd that I find helpful for you guys, I'll make sure to put in this video. Alright, so Rowdy and Mitch miraculously got the old differential out. How was it?
Fine.
It was easy.
Yes.
You see what I mean? It takes only an hour to do.
It was.
So here's the new one. I'm concerned about, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it says 3.3 on it, so I'm worried that came out of an auto car. But I need to be able to drive at the next event, so hell, if I have a 3.3 versus a 3.5 final end, we'll deal with it. So here's my old CV shaft to boot rip, so I used some good old Gorilla tape to get by. That's where that goes. So I've got a new CV shaft in that box right there, and we're going to throw that in, so I don't have a ghetto CV shaft. And yeah. Alright guys, so it's the next day. We kind of stopped last night, and we're back here. So I started working on the rear end again instead of the interior. So let me show you where I'm at now. We have a naked knuckle here, and so I got the dust shield here. Now this is going to be the dual caliper bracket here. I need to trim this guy down here, so that way I have clearance for the bracket. So I'm going to draw some lines here. I'm probably going to go a little extra as well, just to give me some wiggle room. And we're going to chop this bad boy up. Alright guys, so plan for this, mounting this guy up, is I bought some, we went and bought some 1/8" thick steel. We're going to cut up a bracket, and we're going to mount it to the shifter bezel there. And then we'll mount the actual hydraulic bracket onto this guy here. I think that's going to be your best path forward. Alright, so these studs are on, look pretty sweet. You guys might hear a rumor in the comments that I stripped an ARP stud, and well, I don't want to say it was me, but I was the unlucky recipient of this. I think the lug nut I was using to bap it on using this tool, I think that lug nut just totally crapped out, and then as I was taking it off, when it got to like this point here, it just took the threads with it. So that's kind of annoying. So I won't be able to do the fronts, because I'll only have 9 and they'll be kind of weird, so I'll get another one on the way. But focus of the main focus is the rear end getting the hydro ready. We can do this at a later day. Alright guys, so we added a hole here and through the transmission tunnel so we can fix this, because when you pull on it, it's just going to flex, so we're going to fix this down. We're just modifying the bolt right now. We got to cut it down just a little too long. We took a bolt, we tapped it all the way to the top here, so that way what we're going to do is basically we're going to bolt it down inside of the transmission tunnel there, but also there's going to be a little bit of air gap in between, so we're going to use one nut to fasten to the actual metal of the body, and another nut to fasten to the head of the bolt and to the plate we fabricated. Alright, so I'm trimming the interior here. It's kind of almost like an emotional experience doing this, because I've had this car for so long and it's been such a clean car. It's been my daily driver. It's been through a lot with me. It kind of feels weird cutting into all the nicer parts of it. But it's also one of those things where if I don't do this and make these modifications that I'm making, I'll never excel any further than where I'm at with the car now. So a little bit of a weird feeling I've got cutting it, but I know I need to do it to keep moving on and keep pushing forward. Alright guys, we got our custom made bracket installed, ready to go. Now the rip stick's going in for some rippage action, you know, no big deal. The drift stick is in the car. It's all mounted up, ready to go, all tight. We just gotta run some lines through. We're probably gonna run them from here down into here, and then along the transmission tunnel.
So it doesn't have a brand.
So Mitch, how's your otter pop?
Code.
Good.
Was my tongue purple?
Yes.
Cool.
Anyway, over here, that banjo bolt is bottomed out before we can even crush the washers there. I'm not sure. There's no instructions that come with this, by the way. So we're going to take off that fitting that comes with the Wilwood. Maybe the intention was the banjo just goes straight to the master cylinder. And that fitting, that brass fitting that comes with it, is just the generic one that the like Wilwood sends with it. And maybe GK Tech doesn't intend for us to use it, but we don't have any options here. And they're in Australia, so I can't really call them right now because they're sleeping. The kangaroos are going to bed right now. You can go. All right. So what we did, guys, you guys run into this issue. Just double stack some other copper washers that we had in the kit, right, Rowdy?
Yeah.
And then we tightened it really hard, right, Rowdy?
Yeah.
And then we bled it, and then we did that a couple times, and then right, Rowdy?
Yeah.
And now don't look at these. It doesn't leak. See, perfect.
It is leaked on the floor, but it's fine.
It's fine. Don't. This is Hollywood. We don't tell things like that. Alrighty, fellas. We have a T with lines on it, going this way, and this one going this way. Oh, you looked anyway. So we put some marshmallow goop on the threads here, and we tighten these guys in, and then the line that's going from the hydro down the transmission tunnel is going to go into here, and then these guys are going to go into the calipers. Now the reason we put these sides in, these bolts don't swivel. They don't have a, they don't rotate on it like this. Like this guy here, I could spin it like that all day. So these will be easy to put on the calipers, right? These will not. So we're putting these on first and then getting under the car. Right, Mitch?
I think so.
Guys, we were wrong. I was wrong. This actually needs to go on the caliper side because
Race car.
yeah, because I don't know. It makes sense from a manufacturing side. Like, hey, we put these swivel bolts. Anyway, I'm not gonna rant. We're taking them off.
It's the only instructions that came with. We didn't read them.
The only piece of instructions GK Tech sent said not to do what I just did, and I did. God damn it!
So
Mitch, what are we doing next?
crying.
So anyway, hey Rowdy, what are we doing next? What are we doing next?
Crying.
Oh, I guess we're crying. Well, I was under the impression we were
I'm not having a good time.
I was under the impression we're gonna bleed the brakes, the hydraulic system now, before the diff goes in. This empty cavity here represents my heart, how empty it is.
My heart.
Anyway, we're gonna bleed them now though, because we have the opportunity to see if this guy is gonna leak or not and fix it without a differential in the way. A lot of you guys probably aren't gonna have that opportunity for greatness, but we do. So you guys can watch this video and marvel in our opportunities of greatness, right, Mitch?
And self-pity.
Quick. Alright guys, really dark video. But we got the differential and yay, so we're just gonna button up the CV shaft and the drive shaft and we should be good to go. Alright guys, we're almost done, but I made a mistake. I made a big mistake. You see this cable here? See this cable right here going to this brake caliper? So here's the deal. Here's what I did. I went to go zip tie it onto the shock tower to help keep it rigid, right?
Ow.
You okay there?
No.
That sounded painful. In other news, I realized as I was zip tying it on and I finished the zip tie and tightened it, I even put the goddamn cable in between the zip tie, dude. What the hell's wrong with me? Alright guys, it's pretty much done. We're gonna fire it up and just kind of let the car rotate in the air and make sure the hydro works and the diff works and all that stuff. Maybe we'll give it a quick drive. We're not gonna put the interior back tonight for sure, but this is the bulk of it. So let's fire her up. Whenever you're ready. Yeah. So I got these new techie lug nuts from Z1, the yellow to match kind of. This isn't intentional, but my 19mm socket literally fucking matches the bolts. How nerdy is that? Alright guys, we just went for a drive. The hydro does work, but you guys don't get any action until the next drift event. So with that said, if you want some hydro action, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, summon the carrier pigeon for my videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video.